Yo, welcome back to Mental Groove. Today we've got another no-nonsense Kevin Samuels clip that's got people fired up. Before we get into it, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned. I'll drop my full reaction after the video. Let's get into it.
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
All right. How old are you?
I'm 22.
22?
Yeah, 22. Let me
All
turn
right.
it up because I can't hear.
Hmm.
I'm so surprised you answered my request. But yeah, I'm
So what's
22.
the question?
Well, I guess you were asking women if we believe that we were high demand.
Yeah.
I guess I would say I'm on the way there because I'm having some issues with some things that I'm dealing with personally. Because I just got out of a situation similar to what she was talking about. I was talking to this older guy, and I guess I just knew he was lying about some things. Like I was hearing rumors, around my job.
What do you mean you're on the way to being there?
I guess I would say like I have some trust issues, that I'm trying to work on.
Okay, so just so we're on the have the same conversation,
Mhm.
to being an average, normal, well-adjusted woman is here.
Right,
To be a high-demand woman is way up here.
right.
You're
Hmm.
on your way to being way up here?
Well, I feel like if
Or are
I'm,
you on your way to being average and well-adjusted?
I want to be way up here, but I think that's something that I need to work on before I can.
But before you can get way up here, don't you need to get here?
I guess you could
See,
say that.
what women want is y'all all want to go for the highest price.
Right.
Y'all all, but that's not realistic. If
Hmm.
you all went for the highest price would just go up.
Right.
Why do you want to be up here?
Well, I'm not going to use the cliche line, I deserve to be there, but I want to get there because I feel like if I don't get to a place to where I'm content or at least trusting the significant other, then, I feel like it
I
would
don't know
be
what you're talking about. Make it real simple. Why do you want to
okay.
be high demand?
How do I get there?
Why do you want to be up
Why do I
here?
want to get there? Because I just want to be a better woman. Like I don't want to have issues.
But average, well-adjusted women don't have issues. High demand women have a different lifestyle.
I get what you're saying. But I feel like it starts with me. Like I need to Kevin, don't do that. Okay, because but it's easier
Like
said.
standing outside of the Louis Vuitton store
Hmm.
saying, I want that purse. Or standing outside of Hermes and saying, I want that Birkin bag. And you making $20,000 a year. You got to get to afford a Tory Burch or a Michael Kors first.
So, okay, so let me ask you. So what do you think is the best way for a woman to get there if they're not, because I feel like me being humble and recognizing that I need
Why
to.
do you want to get to this high demand lifestyle?
You're saying how?
Why?
Well,
What does your father do for a living? What does your father do for a living?
he's a supervisor. He works for logistics, like a logistics company.
What does your mother do for a living?
Well, my mom, right now, she's a manager at a grocery store,
So you
and
come from middle class parents.
yes.
So why do you want to go all the way up to this level of being
Well,
upper
well, I
income,
guess it depends. Well,
class?
I'm sorry.
Why do you want to go up to the upper class level?
I don't think I want to necessarily jump to upper class. I thought you meant as far as like,
Well, the women who are in high demand
mhm,
um,
have like a higher status or like,
oh yeah, they're in high demand.
mhm,
Average women aren't in high demand.
okay.
They have average demand.
Hmm.
Okay? That's
Why
how
would that be
there's a
wrong?
high value man and a high demand woman. They link up because they roughly have similar values.
Right.
And what most people don't want to say is they really do want to have a much more, they don't want to have a middle class lifestyle. They want to have a lifestyle of a little bit of luxury to where they can work or don't want to work. They want to drive foreign cars. They want to be able to travel. And that's what but then you went to college for what?
Me?
Did you go to college?
I did some, but I did not.
Okay, so no. So you graduated high school.
Yeah.
Okay,
It,
so you graduated high school, yes or no?
yes, I did.
All right, so high school graduate. Okay.
Hmm.
So could you afford the lifestyle? No, I'm just no. So the only way to get it is to get it from a man.
Hmm.
And then what? See, men got to go get it, and if he got to go get it, he's gonna get what he wants. And these
Right.
guys don't tend to want average. How tall are you?
I'm 5'5",
Your size?
about a 7.
How much did you weigh last time you weighed yourself?
I'm 149. I know. I don't know what that means. Why, you don't believe me, or?
I'm seeing some of the fullest face women who are these 4'6". I know I just do this in real life. I'm like,
But it's
fingers and
I don't know
faces
what
don't
that means.
lie. I'm just your ass. I look at it.
I think you're in
I'm an image
disbelief.
consultant, huh?
Are you in disbelief, or?
Oh, I just don't believe you.
Oh, you want me to get? Well, no, I
Nope,
don't even
that's
want to say
okay.
that. I just
You
think.
you asked. Man, as an image consultant, I look at things that most people don't look at.
But I'm not.
Okay, it doesn't matter. Don't stick to you. Okay, ma'am. Just you asked me. I just you got anyway. At 22,
Hmm.
why not just get with an average man?
See, that's that. Okay, so that goes into the story.
You
Well,
need to make it real quick. We don't have
make it
time.
quick. Okay, why? How come I don't? Well, because a lot of the guys that I talk to, honestly, to keep it 100 with you, I don't think I'm looking in the right places. I mean, all the women that come on here and talk about their stories, they're not
Would you
looking.
get with an average man?
Would I be with an average man?
Would you marry one?
Of course.
Would you have his babies?
Of course.
An
I'm not a
average man
judgmental.
makes around $21 an hour.
You can live off that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Uh, and you have to work full time.
correct. I don't have an issue with that.
Okay. So as long as you can be willing to give an average man and treat him as well as you would treat the high value man, you got a broader pool of men.
Right,
So
but you
I'm
got to come across
it
that.
should be much easier to find an average man. They're everywhere. 54% of black men are single and childless, 61% of middle class. That means every time you turn around and see 10 black men, roughly 5 of them are single.
Mhm. I
So,
mean, it's easier said,
I really, what state you live in?
California,
Part of California.
Moreno Valley.
Northern, southern.
Guess you could say like northern.
And when you're not at work, what are you doing?
Um, Honestly, I'm trying to move out, so I'm looking for other
So
jobs.
you live with your mother?
I stay with my father and his wife.
Okay. So when you're not at work, what are you doing?
Honestly, I'm home to myself,
Okay.
or
So you go to work. Do you go to the gym? No. Nope.
I no, I do
No,
not go to the
no,
gym
no, you
here.
don't go to the gym.
No, I don't.
Okay. So you're 22 and you don't go to the gym, which is a bad habit
Okay.
because that means
I do walk around my neighborhood though.
you're going to get fat. I'm just telling you, you're 22, you're already setting up bad physical health, so you're going to get fat. We need to start telling more young women, especially black women, the diet, calorie intake, you're already way too much for your height anyway. And you don't work out, you're going to get fat at this rate. 25, at 3 years from now, I guarantee you, if you pop back on here, I'll be playing that because that's not funny to me. It's not funny to me. It's not funny to me at all.
I know.
Because then you'll be sitting around talking about why can't I find a man, and the average man don't want a fat wife.
Oh, I know. You're right.
Well, then, but my point is, you work and then you go home. That's my whole point. You work, you don't go out to the gym, so you're not working out, and you're also not amongst people. You know,
just walking around
you walk around your goddamn neighborhood is not being amongst people.
Okay.
See, that's what I'm saying. It's like I was telling a woman today. Y'all are lazy. You sit your ass at your parents' house and expect to find the men. They're like, I can't find them. They're not at your mom and daddy's house. That's the ultimate point. Honestly, they're not there.
Well, can I just say this? I don't really approach men. So
I don't care if you approach men. I care that you're in the vicinity of men.
Okay, but I don't put myself out there to.
Well, then die alone.
Oh, I don't have to die alone because I don't put myself out there.
Yeah, you will. Sure will. Just like you can get fat, you'll die alone.
So you want me to chase or something? Like that's
what you saying? I want you to put your young ass out there and be competitive.
I don't. But why should I have to compete?
You shouldn't have to do nothing. Die alone.
Oh my God. But do you understand what I'm saying?
Why should men have to come knock on your mama's door to figure out who you are when every other woman who wants to get found is in a position to be found?
But
this is what I mean. Shush.
Okay, I'll shush.
How is a man supposed to find your young ass?
I mean, I do go out sometimes, but that's just not me. I don't party. I go out occasionally with friends if I'm invited.
What was the question I asked you?
How do I expect to get found if I don't go out there?
Specifically, I said, how is a man supposed to find your young ass?
I'm trying to tell you.
And how's that supposed to happen? Walk me through the process.
You're basically saying that.
Walk me through the process, how a man is supposed to find you.
You said to put myself in the vicinity.
No, I know what I said, but I'm talking about all this pushback you're getting. So I want to hear how it's supposed to work in your world.
I mean, I guess I just have to put myself out there more. Maybe that's
walk me through the process of how it's supposed to happen in the world you're pushing back from.
I have to get out of my shell.
Nope, this is how it's supposed to happen. You get up in the morning, she goes to work, she drives by the gym, she comes and sits at home. She does it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. She comes and sits back at home. Saturday, Sunday, she's at home. Then she does it Monday through Friday again. And then every now and then, she gets up and goes out with her friends somewhere. And when she's out with them, she sits over there with them. Then she does it all over again. How is a man supposed to find you? You're in prison. This isn't funny. I'm not laughing one bit.
I know.
Because what I'm talking about is our women
I'm laughing
are
because
so
you're making me
lazy.
nervous. That's why I'm laughing.
Our women have become so lazy to where you don't even want to put yourself available because they think doing any fucking thing is chasing and whatever. I know what I'm talking about. Nobody said get out there and go holler at a man. I said get out of the house. Put yourself in the vicinity. That could be a library. That could be a church. That could be activities.
I do go to church every Sunday.
But that ain't enough.
I understand.
You're too young to be this lazy.
It's just not me, Kevin. I mean,
then die alone. I don't care if it's not you.
I don't want to
understand.
Look
right here, okay? Right here.
I'm looking.
I don't care. I don't care about your excuses or reasons. I don't care. It's not supposed to be easy to find somebody of value. I don't care. Do what the hell you have to do. If it's easy, everybody would do it. That's why you don't go to the gym, because it's not easy.
Mm-hmm.
Who told you? But I'm going to ask you something. Where are your people from?
The South, Alabama,
Do
Louisiana.
you think your great grandmother, they had it easy out there picking cotton and cleaning people's houses and then having to have automobiles, they didn't have all the stuff we have?
My connection is
Y'all
gonna.
care about life
Oh,
being so freaking easy. This is why I wish your parents really should put you out because it's time to grow up.
I'm moving. I actually am moving out in June, so looking
Good.
forward to that. Yeah,
And you
that
need to
is
get
good.
out of the house
Hmm.
because you have no life.
I know. I don't.
I know.
Yeah, I need to
And
get one
how is a man supposed to find you if he wanted to? Thank you.
because I don't. I don't know. Like you said,
It's like
I
it's
just
like I had my interview today. I was talking to a woman and I said, so many of our women say that the men are not worthy. The men that are trying to holler at them are not worthy. Then if that's the case, you should have nothing to say when the men that you ladies determine aren't worthy, marry a non-black woman. Because they tried to holler at you first, tried to shoot their shot first, but y'all aren't even making it. So when they non-black women are doing more than making themselves available. They are chasing. They're hollering.
but okay, so then what do you believe the man's job is to do? Because see, I don't have a problem with approaching a man or starting conversation. I'm very sociable. However, I just don't know about the pursuing part, you know?
It's about all spare and level war. This is competition. Closed mouth, don't get
But do
fed.
you think both parties are
I
to be?
think, I think, like I asked her, I was like, if I put the kind of man you felt that Mr. Right, if I put Mr. Right in the room with you and three of your friends, and all three of y'all liked him, and he liked all three of y'all, would you knock your friends down to get with him? Hell no. And if
Yeah,
I did the same thing with Becky, Marisol, Marlene, and Jamila, I guarantee you, Becky will cut her friend's Achilles tendons to get to him. And that's the problem. Y'all are too locked into this sisterhood code, thinking that somebody has to come get you, and that shit don't fly no more. You're going to have to get competitive. Because who? You have between 18 and 35 roughly, and it's a wrap.
yeah.
So all this, what should I have to do? You should win. Do
Of
what
course.
it takes to fucking win. Because what you're worried about is what other women are saying. Girl, you out there chasing, you out there doing this, doing that. Do it with a fucking wedding ring on your finger and a husband and a family. While single women talk shit from the sidelines. Which one you want to be?
A married one.
Well, then get out of the house.
I guess I just got to get out of my shell. I'm really shy.
No, you don't have to. You don't really have to.
but
You don't
but you
have to. Every
I,
day,
I
man, every day there's a new 22-year-old. Every day the pool gets deeper and more women are out. The kind of men you ladies want is a more rare man. Y'all aren't rare. And the biggest trick that ever got pulled on black women in particular was feminism and telling y'all that y'all were strong, independent, men. White supremacy, racism, slavery could not do to the black community what feminism has done. Got y'all over here making the most student loan debt, the least married, most baby mama, overweight, got the nerve to sit back like this, like somebody got to come deal with y'all. And everybody else, at least 54% married or more, y'all like this. And now it's gone from the fact that black men married white women to white women, Hispanic women, Middle East women, Asian women jumping over each other because they sit back and listen to these conversations. They're like, God damn, we don't have to do anything except just be in the room because these women won't even show up. We don't have to chase. All we got to do is show up. You may have your favorite toilet paper, your favorite water, your favorite whatever. But if you go to the grocery store and they got one brand of toilet paper on there, one brand of water, what do you pick?
What's there? You need it, you know. So gotta
Well, do
grab
you
it.
need a man?
That's a tricky question.
Really? Really? No, let me help you with the trick. What do you do for a living?
I'm a dispatcher.
How much are you earning less than $50,000 a year?
Technically considered, yeah, because
Technically, it's either yes or no.
yeah,
You live in Los Angeles?
I live in the valley.
Is that how far from Los Angeles?
About 65 miles, so like an
And how
hour
much is how much
20.
will rent be in a one-bedroom apartment?
Out here it can go from starting at like 1100 to like 1500.
50, let's call it 1250. So,
Mm.
1250. Let's say so that'll be almost $16,000 a month just for rent. On a $50,000 salary, you're not taking home 50. You're taking home 42. You take home so what? You take not 16 for rent, another 500 for utilities, everything else. That's 2,100. Over half of your pay is taken up in just rent. You don't get a man. How you gonna? And you reach retirement age, you're gonna live paycheck to paycheck.
Well, I
Uh,
mean,
uh, 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 Paycheck to paycheck because competence gets compensated.
mhm.
How you gonna survive from 65 to 85? How much money do you think you'll need for those 20 years?
Another income, I know for sure.
No, no, no. I mean, 65 to 85. How much
You
cash
want me to give
do
an
you need?
estimate
Yes.
from 65 to 85? I don't know if like 60K maybe. Well, I don't know, 60K would be enough. Uh, let's just say over 75K or something.
For, for 20 years.
Mm, if I'm alone,
Yeah.
then
No, no. So 75,000 to last you for 20 years.
okay, let's go a little higher then. Maybe a cool 95, and then I have my 401k.
No,
So
no, 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 no. All that included, man.
okay. Um, I don't know. That's tricky.
It's not tricky. It's math.
Between 95K. If I had to add everything up that I'm paying for together, between 95K, maybe 120K, something.
$120,000 for 20 years. That's $6,000. That's $6,000 a year. $6,000 a year. That's $500 a month. You can live on $500 a month from age 65 to 85.
No,
Huh?
can't do
No,
that.
actually, ma'am, you're gonna need 1.9 million.
Ooh,
See, that's what I mean. Women have no concept of
mm,
how much it's going to cost at 65 to 85.
mm,
You're older. You're more sick. You got medical conditions. It, they all think that it's just going to happen. She says $75,000 and she makes less than 50, around 50. That means you wouldn't even have 1 year of salary to last for 20.
yeah, but the thing
Why
about
are you in charge of planning your life? No offense, man, but think about what I'm saying. If
mm,
you know you make around $50,000 a year,
mm,
and I asked you how much money will you need to last for 20 years, and you said 75,000.
well, quadruple
Why?
that.
No, no, no. It's already there. Why
Mm,
are you in charge? If you sat down and ran the numbers for 20 years and said 75,000, how is that supposed to work? Is your house supposed to be paid off?
I guess it wouldn't because, um, yeah,
Transportation,
yeah,
food, groceries. How is it supposed to work?
necessities. Yeah.
What was that money? Where was it gonna come? What did you think was gonna come out of that 20 years? What was the 75 gonna be used to pay for?
Rent and I guess,
But
the necessity.
your rent today would be 12.50.
And then it goes up, it's gonna go up within the next
My point is, man, no
it,
offense, but
I
if
get
you sat there as a high school graduate with
mm-hmm,
some college and through asking you how much will you need to last 20 years,
mm-hmm.
and you couldn't even give me anything that's in close to even a livable wage, not even in the ballpark, why are you in charge of your life?
It's a good question. But I don't know, well, I mean, but that's the thing. As far as like the pay and all that, I'm not a content person with the position. I'm not gonna
I don't
stay.
care. I
I
don't want to
know,
hear.
but I'm
No,
just
I
saying.
am focused at the 65 year. Because I asked you, how we got here is I asked you, do you need a man? And you said that's complicated. No, it ain't complicated. That math right there shows you need a man.
Because men feel like we already use them for them to provide. I mean, you walking away. Okay, I know that's what a man is supposed to do, provide, but I don't know. I wouldn't want my man to just be thinking that's solely what
You
I'm
need
using.
two incomes.
Yes, I get it. I get that. I get that.
If it ain't gonna be a man, where else is gonna come from? Your girlfriend?
No.
Then where's it gonna come?
No.
Then where's it gonna come from? I'm not laughing. Where's it
Okay,
gonna come from?
it will come from my husband
So why when I ask you, do you need a man, did you pause?
because I didn't want to give.
Because they don't want to need us. That's the reality. They don't want to need us. Don't try to put it up on some virtue of, I don't want to say I need a man because I don't want to make men to feel like they're utilities. No, chick, you don't want to need us. That's why you don't want to even get out and fucking try to chase nobody. That's
No,
why I said go
that's
ahead and
not.
die alone because y'all don't know how much y'all need us. Men, one thing we have done is we have made women's lives too easy. We've civilized the world in general to where they don't realize how much they need us. To where I can ask you at 65 years old, man, how much you gonna need for 20 years? And you
Mm-hmm.
didn't even say $50,000. You didn't even say my salary. If you'd even said my salary, that would have been $1 million.
I guess that was kind of hard to gauge, what type, or I
At
guess I didn't realize that.
22 years old, it's basic math. It
I
shouldn't be
understand
that
that,
hard to
but you
gauge.
asked me to give you an
I'm
estimate.
sorry, ma'am. This is simple, basic ass life planning.
All right.
I didn't ask you what stocks you were going to invest in, what vehicles were you going to use to get there. I said, how much effing money are you going to need? That meant I need enough money to last for 20 years to pay everything that I'm going to need.
All right.
And if
Well,
you at 22 can't sit down and when you say I'm going to think about it and really come up with a better thought, that just shows. Because if I asked a man that, a man would know one thing.
mm,
Ain't nobody going to save me. I gotta have enough because there ain't nothing I can count on.
all right.
Y'all
I
don't have that same. Y'all got people saving y'all.
but and I just want to say one thing. There are some guys my age that feel like what do you do? Because the guys my age are not in that mindset to think ahead. Like
What
so
difference is it? Why are we worried about the guys your age? Don't deflect.
I'm not deflecting. I'm
What does
just
it matter?
they
Why
feel
are you
like
talking
they
about the
don't
guys
want to
your age? Why
provide
are you talking about the guys your age? Why?
because I'm going in what you're saying because
About what would you do with the guys your age?
well, it's not about what I would do. It's just they feel like they don't want to provide or they shouldn't have to be the ones to provide. They don't.
Are you talking about the guys your age because you're talking about this is the kind of man you would marry?
I mean, I'm not saying that. I'm
Then why
just.
are you talking about it, man? What point? What? How are they relevant to our conversation?
Because there are
You
men
know
out
what? There's
there that
something
don't
called
believe in what
orangutans
you
and camels.
believe.
And orangutans, you know, camels can survive without a lot of. What do they have to do with this conversation?
Because there are men out there that don't believe in what you're saying.
What the fuck difference is guys your age? I'm talking about. Why are you talking about them?
It was just, I thought it fit with the conversation.
Why? A
Because
22-year-old man? Are you talking about? Why are you talking about it? They don't feel like men aren't your problem. 22-year-old men aren't your problem. Your problem is you're a high school graduate. Competence gets compensated, and you need a man because you're going to need another income because you're a middle class at best average worker.
mm-hmm.
A man. I didn't say a 22-year-old man. I said a man.
I get you.
No, you really don't. And the thing
No,
is, why is this so important, guys? Because women in general, our women in particular, have not been made to think in terms of relationship seriousness. Relationships with women are all want and desire, not
mm-hmm.
need. If you were to get married, would your husband be 22,
No.
23, 24, 25?
Mm-mm.
About what age do you think he would be?
I don't, because I wouldn't say right at this moment. I mean, I don't want to say marriage has an age. I mean, I do believe there is an age where you could be too young, but if I had to say, I would say either like mid 20s, late 20s. You know,
What age? Mid 20s, late 20s. What does that mean?
I would say if I was ready, you know, mm, well, it's not to say that I'm not.
You're a high school graduate. I don't know
Okay.
why you talking like you got options, like you got leverage. You need to
What?
find somebody as soon as possible.
I do?
You,
What? I
what
don't
do
think
you
I
think
need
you are?
to. I don't think I need to.
What do you think you rank on the socioeconomic ladder in the sexual marketplace? Why do you think age? Why do you think age is going to help you?
I'm not saying it's going to help me, but I was just answering your question because you
I
said,
said you you're a high school graduate
right.
and a middle class and an average middle class worker. You need a man as soon as possible, and you laughed. Why do you think you can wait until you're 30 or 35?
It's not that I want to wait till I'm
See, this is the
35.
point. I want you guys to understand that our women have been told they're queens, divas, and bosses and bad chicks for so long. They don't even realize how vulnerable they are. They don't. You're a high school graduate. The median income for a black woman in this country is $37,000.
Mm-hmm.
That's not even $19 an hour. You're not going to go to law school or med school. You're not going to go back to college and finish and get a professional certification. This is it.
Well, it's not too late for me. I'm 22. I mean, who knows what I. Well, I
You're
mean,
not going to go
see, but you're
medical
laughing
school,
at
law school.
that.
That's right. You're goddamn right I am.
Why is that funny?
Medical school, law school is something that's professional. I'm not talking about going to get a bullshit ass degree in marketing, something that doesn't pay. Science, technology, engineering, math are the only things viable to go back to school for because they have a higher starting salary and they pay more over a lifetime. And see, this is the shit that y'all don't get taught. So when you're sitting in your house talking about, I don't want to chase and this and that, I'm like, do you not realize winter is fucking coming? You are not even at the bottom, man. Not the middle. You're below average because you don't even have a college degree. You're down here.
Mm-hmm.
So there are women up here who have bachelors and who are earning more money. You're somebody in dispatch. But when you
That's
make
trying
money
to
based
paint my
upon the
position.
area. If you lived in Iowa, you probably make around $35,000 a year doing the same job.
Okay, so can I ask a question?
Sure.
So, you're saying that I'm below average as if it's not possible for me to move up with my job. and which I'm trying to do now, which is in the works for me. So it's like,
I don't give a shit about what's possible. I care
but
about
you're
what's
but you're
probable.
saying, but
Oh,
we're
hold on.
talking
I don't care
about
about what's
income.
possible. I care about what's probable. People don't typically promote high school graduates above supervisor.
But okay,
Man, like it or not.
it's too much to explain. But
No, it's not.
okay,
No, it's not. The bottom line is it all matters in outcome. Man, does your
my work ethic gets me there. That's what
and
gets
this
me.
is the bullshit. And they would rather do this. They would rather do this. This is easier to most black women. This struggle shit. Work ethic on a dispatch versus getting and learning how to be cooperative with a man and joining and having two incomes. This is what our women would rather do. So get out here, work your ass to death to make other people rich. Get a dog, die alone, but you remember somebody told you this at 22, and all you did was push back with, well, I could work my way up. At
No,
most, at
I'm not trying to
most in
give you
your
pushback.
career,
I'm
at
just
50 years old, what do you think your income, at the maximum of your income, what do you think you'll make annually?
at 50.
At the height of your career, the most you'll make.
Mm, I would say about 75K, 80. It wouldn't be six figures, but it would be in a bracket to where
Is
I
this a
can.
government agency you're a dispatch driver for?
I'm sorry.
Is this a government entity?
No, it's a logistics. I work for a logistics company as well.
$75,000? Not likely. 9% of black women earn $75,000 or more. Not highly likely, ma'am.
But there are positions.
Ma'am,
I'm trying to explain. I can't
I don't.
talk.
You're 22.
Okay.
Okay, maybe I'm missing something. Why do you think at 22 you can explain the dynamics of the workforce better than me?
I'm just trying to have conversation. I'm not trying to use
But
it.
you're having conversation based in things that aren't real. Man, $75,000. That puts you in a place where women who are accountants and professionals are earning, who had to go to get education, secondary education. That's real money.
Right. I'm just saying, you know, in the logistics company, I mean, there
Okay.
are people
You're
that
right.
are
You're
making.
right. Uh-huh. Right.
I'm just telling you from what
Right. There are.
I
Yeah,
work
there
with
are. There
every
are.
day.
There are. Do you know if they're high school graduates?
I'm sorry.
Do you know if they're high school graduates? Just high
Of
school
course
graduates?
they are high school
Do they
graduates.
have college degrees?
They do.
Thank you. And that's the problem. There is a cap on you.
Hmm.
There is a cap on high school degrees. You may do the work, but their likelihood of getting promoted, the probability when they look at somebody over here with a college degree who has the same work ethic, that's why to get into management, you have to have a degree. Ma'am, your income is capped.
Hmm.
Now tell me how hard work is going to get around that.
I hear you. I'm just,
I get it.
having conversation.
When you have nothing else to bank on, when you can't do relationship, when you can't get out here and work with a man, this is what so many women are left with. They are left with Hail Marys. So you have just become a meme. I'm going to call you the Hail Marys. Y'all, at 22, you're already pulling the Hail Mary play. Either Hail Mary is throw it as far as you can and hope.
Okay, so can I ask a question?
Hail Mary, come with me. Hail Mary.
Okay,
What?
so let me ask you a question then. So since I am, obviously listening to what you have to say about my situation, um, I mean, what do you think is the best thing for me to do? Because I mean, I know, college
Yourself
isn't.
out there. You need a relation. You need a man.
I know, but you just made me feel bad about my about my life. Like, as if I can't,
Okay. Okay, I'm
get
glad I
out the
did. I'm glad I
situation.
did. I'm glad I made you wake
I
up
mean,
to
I
being an adult.
appreciate it, but I'm just
So
saying,
you asked me, man, a high school individual is capped in this country.
mhm.
That was your choice. You chose to not go to college and get a degree that was going to increase your competence. You chose to not go to trade school. You chose to not go to the military. You chose to go get a job. And a job, you're basically, in no offense, man, but unskilled labor. It is capped in this country. Unskilled labor lives paycheck to paycheck at the lower rings of the economy. There is no investing in this and that. You're working forever, hand to mouth, hand to mouth, hand to mouth.
But do you
And
know
as
there?
one person,
Mhm.
you make that exponentially worse. What you would need to do is get a husband and combine your income and lower your expenses and live at your means to have a chance at having a higher quality of life. It's math. It's not personal.
Right. And there are, okay, and just to say this, I mean, there are people that do go to college and, I mean, then they're in debt and don't even,
I don't give a shit about this example
but
you're
I'm
going to
just
make.
saying we can't
Ma'am,
just
I don't
focus
care.
it
This
on
is you. I
college.
don't
It
care.
can't,
Ma'am, I don't care about the doomsday scenario you're going to paint for people. You're going to paint a scenario that confirms your bias. I don't care about that people that go to school and get in debt. I said the only reason to go to college is to go to science, technology, engineering, math, something professional that's going to have a high starting salary and an upward trajectory. Talk to me about people who go to college for that kind of stuff, where the debt matches the income.
I understand.
Do you?
Yeah, I
At every
understand.
turn, it's like you're just well. And the reality is this: you get to pick. You're 22. Don't fuck up. Don't act like you have this leverage and time as a high school graduate. Right here, man, you're capped. The choices you make right now in the next several years are going to determine the next 50. It's not a game. It's not a joke. So sitting your ass at home and not putting yourself out there takes away from time you don't have. The sooner you can get with a man who's marriage minded and you guys can combine and
But
start
how do
working
you
to
find that, Kevin?
combine, combine and keep your ass in your marriage and stay. Combined incomes will give you more money to invest and have a term to grow. The longer you delay this, the less time you'll have to combine incomes and the more risky your investments will become.
All
Next.
right, I understand. I just, I don't really have good luck with, but then I know once I
Good
say
luck with
that, then
men?
you're going to be like, well, no
Good
wonder
luck with
why,
men?
because
Hold on, man, you mumbled. You don't have good luck with men?
I mean, from what
Is that
I've
what you
been,
said? We couldn't hear you. Is that what you said?
yes,
Well,
because,
then you need to fix that.
but, but I can't help who
Man,
approaches
yeah, you can. This is bullshit. You determine who you pick. See how this victim stuff is not my accountability. I don't have good luck with men. I don't do good in English. I'm not good at math. Then what do you do?
Okay, well,
What do
let
you do?
me,
No. If you're not good in math and you did great and you need to make a passing grade in math, what do you do?
practice, study, do the research, you know,
And if that doesn't work,
I guess move, do something else or go to
what does
the
that mean? You just flunk and don't graduate.
find what
Don't.
works.
So in other words, this is that individual shit. Most people would say you hire a fucking tutor.
That
But see,
too.
there's so many of our women are so used to trying to do everything by themselves. The answer is not you. Your best thinking got you there. Your research, if you don't know how to do the math problem, you research and the answer doesn't tell you how to figure it out. You get a tutor.
Right.
If you're not good with men, fix it. Because so either you get a husband and another income, or you get some girlfriends and some roommates. But that don't
Um,
work either. That
yeah, I was
don't
about
work
to
either
say
because
that.
y'all aren't legally tied together. And women are
Yeah,
fickle as French toast.
yeah, yeah. I
Why
agree
is it?
with that.
Now see when I talk to non-black women, they don't have nearly as many questions, and they're not nearly as disagreeable, or they're not being openly hostile or combative. But they're not nearly as they're like, well, yeah, sure. They look forward to getting with somebody. They're like, well, of course, two incomes are better than one, and I got backup, and I got this, and I got that. We have an extended family. Why is when I talk to my women, our women, black women, y'all act
Because I think it's like um like some doubt there, because I mean it's easy for us to talk about, what, we should do versus
then
like
blame your
what.
mama. Then blame your mama. Blame the women, because the women of our culture have warped y'all's mind. The doubt that you have in the black male image came from the women, not us. Go talk to your mama and say, why did you raise me to think so little of black men? Because Becky don't think that way. Marisol don't think that way. Maria, Jose earns less than we do. Because people, they can come over here from Mexico, stand out, and men can stand out from the Home Depot in the day labor center, and they still get women who think highly of them. So like you need to go talk to the women in your family and say, why when I was a little girl, you didn't tell me how important men in marriage and relationships were? Why didn't you teach me how to cooperate and work with and socialize with men? Because unless I'm going to be a high earner and can pay for all these things on my own, I'm going to need another income and a husband and the security of a family. Mama, why didn't you teach me that? Why don't you go ask your mama that? Your mama married,
Well,
right?
the
Your
well,
mama's married, right?
I'm sorry.
Your mother's married.
No,
Wasn't she? She was married?
no.
Did I mishear you and said you had a stepfather?
My dad's married now
Your
yeah,
dad's married. Your mom's not married.
right.
How many children does your mama have?
Just me.
Only child syndrome. Can't make this up. Sat down with another only child today. You go ask your mama, Mama, why'd you feel me? Why didn't you get married, Mama?
Because my dad went to jail and
No,
things
that's your
just.
daddy. What about another man?
She wasn't married, but she didn't have kids with him or anything, but she was
He was
married.
married for how long?
Um, I think she was married for about 5 years.
Okay. And she divorced him? Yep.
I believe
Okay.
he
So the question
did
still
something,
becomes, Mama,
yes.
why didn't you teach me how to be a wife? That's the question. Because your mama picked your daddy, your mama picked your husband. I'm not going to sit here and indict those men. Your mama. Women are the first teachers of the children and the transmitters of the culture. Get the badges up, people. This is a good conversation. Get the damn badges up. Seriously. Why don't you ask your mother and the women of the family, why did you, yes, teach me about being smart and not being a sucker and not getting taken advantage, but also why did you teach me the things I needed to know about being a woman with the men? Who else was
Hmm.
supposed to teach you?
Well, I do go to my dad a lot, honestly,
Who else
because
was supposed to teach you?
I mean, I guess my mom, but I mean, some people can't always rely on their parents. Everybody comes from a different relationships with their parents.
Ma'am,
Um,
I get it.
my mom,
Thank you.
your parents are examples of the way that you
Ma'am,
should.
when you talk about these doubts and insecurities, and those came from who? They didn't come from the men. They
I feel
came from
like it
the person
came
that was
from
on the
my.
ground. Who did you live with most of your life?
I stayed with my mom up until I was about 7, and then at that point, I moved to California and lived with my dad until I completed high school. So pretty much my
Your
dad.
dad was married to. He's no longer with his wife.
He was married. He had a first wife, then they got divorced, and then he remarried again.
He's still married?
So now he's married to, yeah, he's been married for the second wife for about a year
Okay,
now.
so my ultimate point is the insecurities that so many of our young women feel. I had this conversation earlier today. Your face is half cut off, by the way. The insecurities that so many of you ladies
My
feel is
phone is
because the women of the culture in your family talked about relationships in a negative way. They modeled negative relationship patterns. They did not teach you guys the importance of a relationship with a man and marriage.
right.
So, through no fault of y'all's own, when y'all were young, y'all learned fear, scarcity, and lack. Think about what you learned from about a boy. When you started blossoming, what did they tell you? Stay away from them boys because all they want is what? Boys is nasty. Boys is dirty. They gonna do this, do this. So you either have to fear boys, or you need to get your bag, get your bread up. You need to pay you this, pay you that. Lift that, do that. Boys will either be feared or a utility. Can you honestly say you and other young black women were raised to look at black men as your mate and as your counterpart?
Mm, I would say, were we raised to believe that?
The
I
answer is
guess.
no. You're taking too long. Everybody knows it's no.
Yeah, I was gonna
Okay,
say yeah.
so if you were not raised, then how do you expect it to happen? If you started learning how to cook when you were in the kitchen with your grandmother and they showed you first you boil water, then you boil an egg, then you learn how to cook. Eventually, you learn this, you learn that recipe, you learn it. But your mother didn't model relationship. The women, they model relationship. How did the women of your family model relationship with men?
Well, I wouldn't say not too well because I mean, my mom is not with anyone. My grandma, she was married for 24 years, got divorced. So I think it's
That's why
just,
I'm trying to get you ladies to understand. Your issues aren't with the men. Your issues
yeah,
are the fear that was bred into you from the women, and y'all need, because here's the funny thing. Tupac wrote that song, Dear Mama. Remember that? Dear
yes,
Mama. Tupac said, even though you're a crack fiend mama, you're still a black queen mama. He said, Daddy didn't care. The fact it took the back way, such and so forth, blah, blah. Because,
hmm,
his daddy wasn't in his life, right?
right.
Right. Tupac got shot when he was out in New York 5 times. And when he was in the hospital, Tupac got a visitor. You know who it was? His biological
Either,
father.
yeah, okay.
His mother had been lying to him his entire life. Afeni
That's
Shakur
trifling.
lied to Tupac.
Yeah, it's
And
trifling.
Tupac found out that and his mother knew his father was alive. Tupac carried that hurt, that pain that he found out after he got shot. Conceivably, Tupac could have been killed before knowing his daddy was alive. And his daddy showed up and said, your mama didn't want to do. Then Tupac had to address his mother. And she said to go ahead and admit, go look at the story, check it out yourself. And guess what? I still cook for my mama. We have a hard time judging mothers because they're like little gods. They can do no wrong. And it's so weird because many women walk around like y'all can do no wrong. Y'all, this is why Sister Shahar Ali said our women are out of balance, out of order. I'm sorry, Yana Van Zandt said y'all out of order. And at your young age, it's the women before you. They have not taught y'all how to value men. They've taught you to be independent. That's why every scenario I asked you about thinking, it's always, I got to figure it out. I got to figure it out. I need other, I got to figure it out. Always me. And if I say, well, no, you need to get it with a man so you can share love. I can't trust no man. I'll go get 3 more jobs and figure something else out, eat cat food or whatever. But every other woman in the world can rely on a man, but I can't. Why?
But it's not that I don't want to, though. It's
It doesn't
just
matter if you don't want to. You said the insecurities, and I'm saying at 22 years young, where did that insecurity come from?
I would say, yeah, by looking at your parents and also personal experiences,
How many
you
relationships
know.
have you had?
To count, I would say 2,
What's the longest
but
relationship?
I don't even want to
What's the
count high
longest
school.
relationship you've ever had?
About a year.
How long ago was that?
I want to say back in 2019
So 3
or
years.
2018. I'm sorry, 2018, and then the beginning of 2020, we broke up.
Okay. So you were 20 years old. Man, that's every bit of puppy love.
I know. I saw. I'm like, but
So,
I mean,
so ma'am, listen. I'm not saying it didn't hurt, but it ain't like you had deep scars. It's puppy love.
but it's the talking stages after that. When you're after I broke up with him,
No.
right? And
You
I'm
can
trying
it feels massive now because you guys have so little y'all have such thin skin in relationships. Everything hurts. Relationships with black women is like you have an exposed nerve because the women of the culture rub y'all down. Y'all are walking around exposed like a nerve. So all it takes is one heartbreak, one disappointment with a man, and it has the
and we think everyone is like
excuse
that.
me, it has man, I talk to too many women.
Yeah.
I know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Hmm.
To have one heartbreak to where it has the impact of 10 heartbreaks.
Hmm.
And then you ask, well, it was only a year. A year? You didn't live with this dude.
Hmm. No, we didn't live
You were in
together.
you were just getting out of high school.
No. This was after I graduated high school.
Just getting out of high school, 2018, so a couple of years out of high school. My point is, you should have, you're still college age. I don't
Hmm.
really count relationships between 18 and 21 on anybody. From
Okay.
16 to 21, they're not real.
Right. That's
But
true.
you're walking around, the heartbreak and the scars and such and so forth. You
Well,
haven't lived.
it's
You
not
haven't
that.
lived, but
It's after me trying to get out there and talk to other people and men lying about things that they don't need to lie about because
yeah.
I
Okay.
I
Again,
on
exposed nerve. They have such a low relationship tolerance that things that really shouldn't fuck with black women
but it's
destroy
like, what
you.
do we do? I mean, if
Go
you
get
are
therapy. That's what you do because your mother fucked you up.
all right.
Man, it's like this. Okay, let's take it off of relationships. Have you ever been in a car accident?
No.
Okay. You've seen car
Well, a fender bender, but that don't count.
fender bender. Were you driving?
Yes.
Was there any damage to the car?
Slightly, yeah.
You know there are people who can have fender benders like you do, and they can be so traumatized from that that they never want to drive again?
Yes.
Is that a rational response?
Yeah, I mean, or no. I don't know. I guess
See,
no.
you can't even be fucking honest.
Okay, no.
Last time with that shit. I'm not playing, young lady. I'm serious. I'm having a real conversation with you.
I understand.
Is it a rational response to never want to drive again because you were so traumatized about the fender bender?
No.
No, but there are people who do that. I only drive the bus, the traffic, or whatever. And if somebody said, I don't drive because I had a fender bender, you would probably be like, well, damn. It ain't like you had a neck, something broken. Many of you ladies have fender bender kind of traumas in relationships. But to you, it seems like the most traumatic thing in the world because your tolerance is so low. You don't think that highly of men, so it doesn't take much. who did that to you. Not the person that hit your car. The person who taught you the fuck how to drive.
Well, yeah, you're right. And like I said, I think it's just, when you're not in a relationship and you're trying to put yourself out there and talk to other people, it's like, what do you do? Unless you just don't worry about things that are not in your control.
What did I say?
But it's easier said than done.
Therapy. I don't care
I
what's
understand.
easier. This is why I have little to no patience with so many of you ladies, because you can tell you the answer and you're not gonna fucking do it. Nobody thinks you're gonna get
But
that.
I am in counseling though. I'm talking to someone.
How long have you been in counseling?
Well, I just recently started.
How long
so,
have you been in counseling?
I mean, not long. So I would say maybe a few weeks. So I mean, I have to get there. I'm getting there, but What? I mean, you asked.
My point is, if you're in therapy, let it
Taking the
low
test.
tolerance audience understand.
Mm-hmm.
Low women, modern black women have low tolerance, low patience, high expectations. That is a formula for disaster. Low relational tolerance, low relational patience, high relational expectations. Blame your mama. She taught you how to drive. Men.
Let me.
You know what? Kevin Samuels was crystal clear in this one. There's honestly not much to debate here. He laid it out line by line with logic, truth, and no sugarcoating. Sometimes the reality hits so hard, there's nothing left to say but facts.